What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. It's that time again. It's preview time. Aston Villa versus Arsenal, Emery versus Arteta, all that jazz. I'll tell you what, I've been seeing on social media all week comparisons between Emery and Arteta, and it's getting quite boring, to be honest. I'll tell you what, some sections of the Arsenal fan base really do have short memories, and they forget that when Emery left Arsenal, we wasn't doing great. You know, I remember that last game where we was playing Frankfurt in the Europa League, and yeah, it was horrendous. It was a half-empty stadium. And then I see on social media now that he's gone to Villa and he's doing really well, and all these so-called Emery fans that are not big fans of Arteta, they all want to come up with these comparisons and try and make out Emery as a better manager than Arteta. And I think for Emery as well, actually, playing Arsenal is not just another game for him. I do actually think that there's probably some personal vendetta there because of the way he left Arsenal and the way that he was dismissed halfway through the season. You know, he didn't get the players he wanted. The board, the owners didn't fully back him. I don't even think he was an owner-led decision. I think when he was brought in, it was more of a Ivan Gidizidis decision. So I think when Emery comes up against Arsenal, and he's come up against Arsenal before he's been at Villa. Remember, he used to manage Villarreal, and Villarreal knocked us out of the Europa League. So when he comes up against Arsenal, I think he sees it as a little bit of a personal challenge, and I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's got a point to prove. And also then you've got the Arsenal fans that don't buy into what Arteta's doing. I think this game is always being made out something that it's not really. And for me, it's just another game. You know, we're playing Aston Villa. We've got to get the 3 points. Remember last season, Aston Villa took 6 points off us. You know, we went up to Villa Park last season. We lost to a John McGinn early goal. And then we all know what happened at the Emirates. We were on top of that game for large parts of that game, and then in the second half we just couldn't get the breakthrough, and then Villa hit us on the break and won 2-0, and that was the end of our title hopes. So we've really got to go up to Villa Park, and we've really got to take maximum points. I'll tell you what, it always works out that way though, doesn't it, really? You know, if we have a season where a team gets the better of us, then the following season we always seem to get the better of them, but then it seems to be another team that gets the better of us, and then the season after that we have to go and get the better of them. I remember when it was Brentford's first season in the Premier League, and the first game was Brentford away, and Brentford got the better of us, and then the following season we had to go and get revenge on Brentford. And we did. We managed to get revenge on Brentford, but it's mad how that always works out in any season. And it's not just Arsenal. That happens to a lot of other teams as well. And despite what happened at Arsenal with Unai Emery, despite what, you know, some fans on social media make with their comparisons, you know, Emery is a good coach. He wasn't a great fit for Arsenal, but he is a good coach, and he gets his teams set really well. And I think it's going to be a massive test for us tomorrow. We've got to go there. We've got to get the 3 points. We've got a point to prove. You know, we want to get revenge for what happened last season. And I think when we played Villa last season at Villa Park, we were still bedding in certain players. I remember, you know, Kai Havertz was being bedded in. He wasn't fully up to speed yet. He was struggling a little bit. We saw at Villa Park last season, the Kai Havertz of Chelsea. So yeah, like when you look at players who didn't quite bed in last season, and we had a bit of a ropey start last season. For whatever reason, we had that draw at Fulham, at the Emirates against Fulham. So I'm expecting a massive, massive performance tomorrow, and they're all big performances. You look at tomorrow's game, then you look at next week's game against Brighton, then you look at the games after the international break against Spurs and Man City. They're all important games. And if we can come out of those games with not having lost a game or even just drawn one of them, then I think we can be pretty pleased with ourselves. But, we've got to start tomorrow. And this is where it all starts tomorrow, at Villa Park. And Villa Park is no easy test. No easy test. It's a difficult ground to go to. Villa always seem to turn up against us. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. So we need a massive performance. Let me know what you guys think. Leave it all down there in the comment section below. And I'm going to get into the starting lineup. I'm going to give you my predicted lineup. Let's start with the goalkeeper, David Raya. Pretty straightforward decision. I can't see Mikel Arteta changing it. I think we all know that Raya's is number one. We all know that Ramsdale is pretty much on his way out. We're just waiting to see where he goes. So yeah, pretty straightforward. David Raya. Backline, Ben White. Yeah, I can't see Arteta changing this either. We've got a settled backline, so I can't really see many changes happening amongst the backline. But yeah, so it's Ben White. Central pairing, Gabriel and Saliba. Pretty straightforward. I can't see any changes there. They've just been a formidable partnership. And yeah, why change it? Saliba's playing well, Gabriel's playing well. And these guys just work really well together. And, when you look at the amount of clean sheets we got last season, you look at their defensive stats, it just proves it. Left back, this is where I would personally change something. Arteta's likely to go with Zinchenko, but I would possibly consider either Calafiori or Timber. I'm probably leaning towards Timber. I'm not sure that playing Zinchenko against Villa, Zinchenko had a torrid time against Villa at the Emirates in April. And I don't think, if I was Arteta, I don't think it'd be wise playing him in this game. I think it'd be a massive error of judgment. I'd like to see Timber in there, even if it's just for 60 minutes. We need to start putting legs in. We need to start getting legs in Timber. We need to start giving him minutes into those legs of Timber. I know he's just come back from a long-term injury, but, we've got a title we're challenging for. So I would, even though it's early in the season, I would go with Timber, get a nice, healthy lead, get a grip of the game. And then maybe, if we're 2-3-0 up, or, if we're winning the game after 60 minutes and you want to make a change, you want to give Timber a little bit of a rest, then bring on Zinni or bring on Calafiori. My preference would be Calafiori. I'd actually let Zinni sit this one out. I think in a game like Villa, against a team like Villa, you can't afford for mistakes to happen. And Zinni makes a lot of mistakes. So I would leave it. I'd either bench him, or I probably wouldn't even pick him in the squad. We've got enough cover there now. We've got Timber, we've got Calafiori to cover that side. So that's what I would do. Timber or Calafiori. I would leave Zinni out of this side. Midfield, I think he's going to go with Thomas Partey as that number 6. I can't see him playing Declan Rice there. We know that Arsenal have just agreed a deal to sign Moreno from Real Sociedad. But obviously he's not signed yet. He's still got to do all his medical tests and he's still got to go through all his formalities before he officially becomes an Arsenal player. So yeah, I think he's going to play Thomas Partey in this game as the number 6. And then going forward, I think he's going to put Declan Rice in that left 8 role, and then obviously Arteta Arteta's the manager. Odegaard in that kind of forward role. So yeah, I think he's going to play Partey, Rice, Odegaard, and I wouldn't really change that, to be honest. And even when Moreno does come, I probably wouldn't change it just until he beds in. Similar to what he's done with Calafiori, he's given him a little bit of time to bed in, and I think he'll do the same with Moreno. So yeah, Partey, Rice, Odegaard. Forward line, I think he's going to go with Martinelli, and I possibly wouldn't change that either. I would go with Martinelli on that left-hand side. I think we need to start seeing some big performances from Martinelli. This season is a big season for him. You know, last season he was a bit off. I expect this season to see a lot more from Martinelli. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka, again, don't really need to talk this guy up. We all know what Bukayo Saka can do. We all know the performances that he can put in. We know what qualities he's got. Yeah, I don't really need to say anymore. And Kai Havertz, as the false 9 striker, number 9, whatever you want to call him, he's going to be the main man leading the line. I'm expecting a big season from Kai Havertz. And I think when you look at his time at Chelsea and you look at his time at Arsenal, I think this season is probably the first season since he's been in the Premier League that we're seeing a confident, comfortable, settled Kai Havertz. And I'm expecting for him to at least get 20 to 25 goals. And I think he's capable of it. You know, he's a massive threat from set pieces. I think maybe scoring from open play he needs to do a little bit better of. But we know how good we are at set pieces. So I think he could easily get 20 to 25 goals. And it's a massive season. And I also think all this talk of a striker will spur him on. Whilst I agree we do need another forward player, you know, Kai Havertz, when you look at his stats, he's done all right last season, and I'm expecting an even bigger season from him this season. So yeah, let's see what happens with Kai Havertz, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's essentially the number 1 striker and then Gabriel Jesus is back up. Whether we bring in another wide player or another forward player to play across the front line remains to be seen, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Well, there you go, guys. That's my starting 11. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave it down there. Do hit that like button and subscribe. It's really important. I know you guys have been brilliant with the likes recently, but yeah, guys, the more likes, it really does help the channel and it really helps put the content out there. So yeah, please, it only takes a second. When you first click onto the video and watch it, hit that like button. I can't stress that enough. And my review for the Villa game will be out on Sunday as I'm heading off to Birmingham tomorrow to watch the game and then traveling back on Sunday. So yeah, it will be out Sunday evening, same time as the Wolves review was last week. So do check out for that. And yeah, let's just hope for 3 points and a massive performance. All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you on the next one.